Okay, so Terra Luna and UST. It has been a wild ride over the last couple weeks. I want to talk about the journey. How did we get here to this point? What have we learned? And let's talk about algorithmic stablecoins. Do they still have a place in crypto? And again, as an investor, what can we take away from this? One thing I've taken away is USDC is my stablecoin of choice. I've been talking about that for the last few weeks. But we're also going to break things down in the eyes of a couple influential people and again, gain perspective. I think that's really important with Terra Luna right now and UST. How much can we learn from what has transpired thus far? So before we jump in, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get after it. So Terra Luna and UST, of course, UST was the algorithmic stablecoin that collapsed, which drove the price of Luna down, which really drove the price of the entire crypto market down. All right, so the one big thing I want to focus on here to start is the fundamental difference between a fiat pegged stablecoin and an algorithmic stablecoin. It's the fact that a fiat stablecoin has a one-to-one pegging to traditional currencies like the dollar or euro. Okay, those are fiat stablecoins. Those are totally different than algorithmic stablecoins, which again, UST, which collapsed, was not a fiat stablecoin, it was algorithmic. It uses an algorithm. Mint more coins when the price goes up and burn them when the price comes down. And for a while, it worked for UST and it worked for Luna. It worked so well that Terra Luna was exploding when the entire rest of the market was imploding, right? But we also saw the downfall, right? We saw that when things get over collateralized and people start selling in large chunks, that it can go terribly wrong. So the Terra ecosystem, which was founded back in 2018 by Terraform Lab, TFL for short, and the development of the ecosystem has been administered by the Luna Foundation Guard or the LFG. So USD was sailing high in the market. The plans behind Terra were also courageous. 10 billion Bitcoin reserves, purchase some AVAX, and have a commitment towards the Anchor and Mirror protocol. Of course, 67% of the Luna supply was under Anchor protocol's control. As of May 7th, before the collapse, the Luna Foundation Guard held a reserve consisting of over 80,000 BTC, over 39,000 BNBs, 26 million USDT, 23 million USDC, 1.9 million AVAX, 697,000 UST, which was their algorithmic stablecoin, and 1.6 million Luna. Again, algorithmic stablecoins are different. You mint more coins when the price goes up, and you burn them when the price goes down. So this is what it was before the collapse, right? Now, when panic selling started, the price of Luna declined starting on May 9th. Major crypto applications pulled their users' assets from Anchor as UST was depegged from the dollar within the first 48 hours. Now, if Quan and company would have acted quicker, they may have saved the project, but they went $80 billion in the hole and tried to rekindle everything with $3 billion of reserves. It didn't work. 9 billion was drawn out from 14 billion held by Anchor. Again, Anchor held 67% of the total Luna supply. This made the circulation of Luna enlarged with price downfall, and UST tumbled as it was a representation of Luna. Now, the minting of Luna was prominent when then burning and suspicious activity during validation began. Attackers, they started using this loophole and maliciously and having malicious transactions rather started to be validated. And what this did was it raised another concern in the collapsing sector, and the Terra halted their delegation altogether. Simultaneously, the LFG employed the BTC available, which was only that 3 billion, to try to regain the peg. That didn't work. It was too late, right? So we've learned a lot from this situation, but here's the thing. Most investors, they'll look at this and they won't take anything away from it. They'll only talk about what they lost or what they gained, because some people did make some money on the upswing that came with Terra after the collapse. And more power to you if you did. For me personally, I lost quite a bit. I put $2,400 into Terra, right around $24, and it went to zero, essentially, less than $1. Could even buy a pack of gum with what I put into Terra. But I understand that in cryptocurrency, you're going to have a lot of losses. It's what you learn from them. And I think what we learned here is that algorithmic stablecoins are not that stable, at least right now. And I don't want to invest in them at this point because we've seen what can happen. Now, with USDC, which is backed by Circle, it's actually backed by a fiat currency. That is a little bit different. We've also learned a little bit more about where crypto is in general. We are still at the infancy stages, and there will be more collapses. Maybe not as big as this one, but there will be more. That's why it's really important to diversify your portfolio. Do not go all in on one crypto asset because you just never know. And that goes for any type of investing. The best way to hedge yourself is to diversify. So that's what I've got for you here in the video. Let me know what you're thinking about it down below. I wanted to bring you up to speed and give you kind of a brief synopsis of where I think the whole Terra Luna UST thing has been in the eyes of a couple other people as well. And that's what I've got for you here. Let me know your thoughts about it down below, and hopefully you gain some perspective here. And I'll see you all in the next video.